What's happening, everyone? This is open mic. We got a blazing 1 hour today. We got a lot of people on this one, and it's gonna be fun. I think Dipcatcher will be joining us on a bit as well. I literally almost forgot about Pulse.Domains. Gosh, I'm glad they messaged me too. So much going on in the ecosystem. Super excited to get into it. And I hope are your bodies ready? Give me a bodies ready in the chat if your bodies are ready. Give me that real quick before we get into it. I'm going to message until, KG, not you, KG, you're in the green room. All right, I'll take it. All right, everyone, welcome to the show for the first time, Hexjita. Welcome back to the show, KG, and welcome to the show for the first time, Lit. How's it going, gents?
What's up, everybody?
Hey. What up?
Yeah, I was trying to remember, I've been on Lit Tank, and I know this is Hexjita's first time on the show, and KG's been on a few times, but man, what a mix of different areas of the ecosystem we got today.
Yeah, you tore it up on Lit Tank, bro. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was kind of like waving this tidal surge for PulseX, and I got my devs together, and we were redesigning like PulseX so fire, and we halted immediately and realized, oh, this is like the hoopty model, and I got all stoked and was like. RHMax told me, no. He's like, no, don't do that yet. Just leave it and like get all the little, like, get everyone in, and then it'll step-by-step boost. And that was kind of our whole stream. That was really a cool concept of like, bros, like we're good. The people who know, get them in. Get your people in. That was kind of your message. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I made a video. I clipped from it called PulseX Sucks. And just because it was such a good conversation, I was like, I have to get people who think it sucks or are confused on why it sucks into this conversation me and Lit had. And yeah, I'm not sure I helped game plan much, but I was just like, I don't want, you were like, tell me why PulseX should be better or something like that. I'm like, good. I don't want it to be good. I don't want it to be good right now. Good. I'm glad it sucks. Good. But that was, for a reason, right?
KG and Hexjita, it was like I was getting lit, and he was the antithesis over here, just like no. And I was like, wait, I thought we were like in the trust tree with the branches, and we're helping PulseX, and he's like,
how can I talk about this and not agree, but also get something good out of this conversation? Like I love having those conversations. I love having not opposing views, but just kind of like, hey, this is what I think is going on. And then maybe if I have a different opinion, it's like, okay, let's put them together and then see, if there a different way to think about it. And never confrontational, but like I think the most interesting conversations are the ones where people don't agree at first or are just like wondering what the truth is. And then, I brought my reasoning at least to it. And dude, you set it up well as well.
Thank you. Cause I'm a coach for over 20 years and crypto like 3. So you guys gotta like, if y'all are some crypto experts, you come teach me. You know, be like, dude, Lit's loyal. He's the boy. He doesn't understand some things, like, but he also like my background's think tank and my background's branding, design, marketing. So like my brain works in a certain way. And the people who know me, like when we chat, it's like boom, 5 minutes next level. And I think all of you guys like are understand that. You all have your own networks. You all have your own swag. You all have your own style. And like I'm learning PulseChain, this PulseChain Hex Game 2024. Can I go off for like 30 seconds?
Go for it.
Okay. Like this PulseChain Hex Game 2024, your boy Lit, like I was championing the RH flag nonstop. And I thought that was my job. Right? And I freaking formed the PulseChain army. Almost every one of my tweets, I signed up for Twitter to be with PulseChain people and raise the PulseChain army. And now all these years later, like I'm realizing the Hexicans got rugged. Because they had a 10,000x coin on ETH, and there was a whale ecosystem. Like little dogs became whales, and then Richard rugged them, and he said, "Nope, you're gonna become amphibious." And they're like, "What, dude? I'm already king of the water." And he's like, "Yeah, but the ETH fees suck. This place is a jungle. It's just awful. We're going to have our own chain. It's too much to end stake. It's out of control. Like some of these stakes aren't worth it just because the ETH fee alone. So we're going over here to this new chain, and he just forked it and rallied us. And in that process, like all types of stuff popped off, like gangs, like popping off, like tribalism. This founder cancel that guy. No, and it was this chaotic process. But 2024, folks, this is the year of the hybrid hexagon. This is where those whales from the water are now amphibious, and now they're mastering PulseChain, the L1, and it's like this new environment. And that's what I realized. So I want to bring this new energy of like, oh my God, it's about us. What project do you have? Who's your community? What are you all about? Like, teach me. You see that the shift? Like that's it. Hybrid hexagon. Like you can be a founder. You can have your own community. You can be a part of another community, but you can still wave the RH flag and pump PulseChain. And you understand? That's what I think the shift is. What do you guys think?
Well, I think I love it, and I like what you're going on about the hybrid hexagon, but I would just call that a pulsicon. That's like hexagons have become pulsicons, right? Because
maybe, yeah,
because it's you're not anti-hex if you're pro pulse. You're pro the whole ecosystem, you know?
I think the hexagon name can never die, so they'll never be converted. A hybrid hexagon is like, yo, I accept you crazy pulsicon degens, launching tokens, doing everything RH said not to do. But you know what? We're hybrid hexagons who don't do stupid shit. Like,
okay, I hear what you're saying. I do. You don't want the brand awareness of the hexagon, right? You don't want it to get phased out because it has that Lindy effect, right? Hexagons have been around for what, 3.5, almost 4 years now, right? So there's some staying power there. There's some brand power.
If we did a poll, like if all of us did a poll, like could the hexagon name be killed? I think it's unkillable. I don't think you can kill the hexagon name at this point. Tell me I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
Hexagon Twitter will never go to zero. It will never go to zero. There'll always be somebody in there shouting about how amazing Hex is.
You're absolutely right. Hex users unaffected at some point.
Yes. Taco, I love it in the documentary when he's like,
dude,
so good. That
you guys
was
know what
the
would
part
happen?
I laughed at the most.
You know what would happen if all the hexagons tanked and they became pulse? You know what happened? The OG Cabal hexagons who rugged everyone would start raising their. It would be like it would be like chaos, dude.
Oh, God. Yes. Shout out to Clay from Nomics. Taco trucks down is out of tacos down the street. Hexagon's unaffected, baby. Hexagon's
dude, that was actually I was like, Clay, you summed it up perfectly. It was amazing.
That's pretty good.
It was great.
In a lighthearted and comedic and demonstrating fashion. Speaking of Hexo, the guy who's got Hex in his name, shout out to everyone who still has Hex in their name or in their profile. That's been interesting the last couple of years as well. Hex Cheeto, you want to kind of introduce yourself as first time you've been on the stream and not a big streamer yet. I know you've started a channel to talk about this stuff.
No, pleasure to be here. A lot of legends in the room right now. So yeah, big fan of you, Max, and your channel, as well as KG and Lit. Like I've been watching you guys on Matty's channel, doing different stuff here and there. So definitely been kind of keeping up with things. I guess my claim to fame is this stat site that I launched, which kind of compares the Maxi products and all of the different kind of ways of valuing them, comparing them to each other, but then also to kind of solo staking, traditional staking. So yeah, that's kind of my claim to fame. But it's like a niche within a niche within a niche at this point. So, but yeah, hopefully I can explain it a bit and why I think these products are so awesome and why I think there's an opportunity on some of them to get like cheap T-shares. So,
yeah, man, I'm going to let me first we gotta talk about internet money. Getting a shout out from Richard Hart. We'll let KG bask in the glory for a moment before we get into looking at Hexy looking at Maxi.
It happened.
It's crazy.
I got a shout out from the big man.
Yeah, this was, people were blowing up my phone in the morning. This is what I woke up to. I think it was yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. And
congratulations,
dude. It feels it's like people outside the community don't really understand why it's
No.
such an
How
honor.
long? How? Okay. Here's my question. All right. I'm a coach for over 20 years. Okay. I've only at crypto 3 years. KG. Seeing this live on stream, like I'm, Coach Lit right here, dude. Lit Gaines sitting just like, what? This happened? Here's my question. How many clicks did it take for you in your personal journey in life to get to the point where you just got that?
Physical mouse click. My hand was sore yesterday. I was doing so much clicking. I literally couldn't even begin to guess that number.
5555.
Every
times 50.
Times 55 to the 5555 power, maybe. I might accurately describe that.
KG, I was thinking, I wonder how many clicks like this hand right here, like this My Life is Awesome lit hand, like has clicked for PulseChain.
Oh,
dude, I start keeping track of mine too, because I feel like every morning I'm just blazing, and in the evening sometimes too. But I'm like, I feel really tired right now. I hope I've done enough for PulseChain today, that kind of thing. But there's a lot, man.
Bro, please, as a coach, I need to talk to you, KG. What was the mountain like that you had to get up to achieve an actual? Some people have said nice things about internetmoney.io. It supports PulseChain natively and got audited. GitLab, there's your link right there. Boom, with your audit and your code so they can see it. And remember, you have to actually fix important things. Audit's fine. So do your own research and make sure it's legit. Dude, that's as big of as an endorsement as have you guys seen a much bigger endorsement? Like, look how he wrote that. He said, do your own research, make sure it's legit. But like, what was that like, bro? What was the journey up to the mountain to get here right now?
Well, we've been building for maybe like 2.5 years now. And we went through over a year of public beta. I mean, there's a lot that people don't see on the front lines, right? Like myself, my co-founder, Don Montoya, our team. I mean, we're actual people too with like, my oldest son is in Cub Scouts. We still have family and a life to live, and we're easily putting in 12 to 15 hours a day. I would not feel like an average exaggeration, right? Because it's not just social media engagement. It's not just actually making sure the development process is going well. It's like, people say, oh, this is actually a general, just like software tip for everybody who's not in software development. When you ask for a feature, it's super appreciated that you're using the product and requesting features from teams. But when people are like, oh, just add this, that just part is like, that could be 2 weeks of philosophical discussion around where's the button going to go and why. So there's.
Can you just add Firefox support? KG, can you just add it? Come on.
That's all of the just.
That's a real request, but I'll leave the just off. But that is a real thing I think people want.
You know what that reminds me of? Like in the Bay, when I was balling around dating, like there's these Valley chicks, and they'd be like, "What? Oh my god! Like, what do you mean you're not free?" And I'd be like, "Dude, I have to like work. No, come pick me up." And like, they don't get like what actually goes into being able to have the free time to have that lifestyle. So like, it's kind of similar. Like a lot of people don't understand the work that goes into it to actually get the results you've achieved. Just the App Store alone on Apple. How long did that take to actually get hemmed up and done?
Well, I will answer that. And just to ultimately answer the mountain question, my whole point with saying that, all the work is that to see something like this, it's almost a little surreal, because it's like, if, different artists have their different mediums, and for us, it's internet money, our project. And so it's like, hey, your art is being validated, right? All the turmoil and all the little successes, it's like, we're validating you. And we don't take this as like, oh, hey, we're there. We're resting on our laurels. Now it's like extra go time. It's like, all right, people are looking, the word's getting out there. We're open source. Like it's time to build. And I mean, yeah, getting listed on Apple in the very beginning, we actually paved the way, in my opinion, for other wallets that are coming after us, because we were fighting alongside Uniswap. No, we weren't communicating with Uniswap, but Uniswap launched their wallet at the same time, or right about the same time that we launched our wallet. And both of us were getting rejected by Apple. And so we have an international legal team that specializes in cryptocurrency and blockchain law regulation, the SEC regulation. And it was like just so much legal opinion against Apple's legal opinion. And we had to prove that we didn't, what we were ultimately proving is that we didn't have to KYC people, that we didn't have to collect data, and that because we didn't have to do those things, there was no licensing that we needed. Like, that was the fight. So you first had to prove that you didn't need to do the legacy things. Then that was open the door to prove that because we don't do the legacy things, we don't need licensing. And so we won that. We were on the App Store collecting no data, no KYC right now.
Wow. I remember talking to you. Was it 8 months ago or a year ago? And I think it was just the final steps of all of this. So incredible how far you've come just since then. And you've already been grinding. I'm just, honestly, I'm really proud. Like, being the first PulseChain channel, you guys, the only people who were here to listen to me were OG Hexicans. So in just the way that I showed up, like the time I got here, only OG Hexicans and then Lit. And then other PulseChain channels form. I seen everything happen in the last 3 years in slow motion. To hear what you just said, I got to tell you, bro, bottom of my heart, I had no idea someone would come up here, get a wallet, build it, make it fire, put it on the App Store, lead the way, get a legal team, fight the battle, actually find the bottom line that they're asking, overcome objectives, mitigate all the risk, get your people in. Now what are you doing? I just heard streaming like a week or two ago that brother KG is about to connect his platform with Texan token. And it was like right before it happened. And they brought me on live and Rag said, tell Lit, I want to see his reaction. And I was like, oh my God, I talked to KG like 8 months or a year ago about like doing stuff like this. You guys actually did it, assembled it. It's audited, it's worked, it's clean. And he was like, yup. And now tell me what happened. Didn't Texan have an inflationary mechanism that you've flipped the script on and turned it deflation? Did you turn it deflationary or did you just make it start moon running? What did you do, bro?
Well, okay. So because I'm going to make the disclaimer, we can't take credit for the Texan moon run. I don't know what caused that, but a lot of people were bullish about the integration of the Texan buy and burn. So, quick story for everybody out there that's newer. So this is a true statement. If you go to app.internetmoney.io, you can see our buy and burn DApp. And every swap within the Internet Money wallet buys and burns a lot of your favorite tokens, such as Hex, PulseX, Inc. If you click that drop down, you can actually see it where time dividend is at the top. Yep. So Hex, Axis as well, Texans in there. We just added Inc and PulseX, so they're very new. If you're a project out there and you want to be included in this, reach out to us. And so basically what this means is every swap done within the Internet Money wallet buys and burns these tokens, and it's no extra fee on top of our base fee to the users. So there's a 0.729% fee, which is actually less than MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and every other major competitor.
What are they?
MetaMask is 0.875. Trust Wallet is 1% And so 100%.
25% less than the top, and then like 10-15% less. You have the cheapest fees.
Yes, and 100% of our fees get redistributed to the holders of the time token. So this buy and burn DApp, it just holds time token. So it's basically a holder right alongside everybody else. And it earns the fee, as you can see, in PLS so PLS. So it's using that pulse to buy the token off the market. So the more swap revenue the wallet does, the more Hex, Texan, Axis, Inc, PulseX get burned. Whether or not you're buying those tokens, any swap makes those tokens get bought and burned.
Okay, I'm gonna DM you. I have Yeah, I'm basically 2024. I told you I realized what DeFi is. It's all of us here. And if you have a skill, bring it to the table. So I realized, oh, here's what I'm passionate about. Here's what I love doing. Here's what I wake up and do 14 hours a day. Anyway, when no one tells me what to do, it's this. And I finally brought this to PulseChain this year. And I have something that will fit into what you do, like lock and key. And I will be so happy to make a beautiful thing. But I'll just DM you. We'll work it out. I absolutely cannot say enough good things about what you just told me. Like, I would love you to come on my channel and break it down, KG. I'm so proud to call myself a Pulsican alongside people who work at the caliber of professionalism that you conduct business at. And that's what this chain needs. Do you guys hear what I said? The caliber that Internet Money is conducting business at. This is how we don't scare off big whale onboards. This is how they Pulse.Domains is another one. Pulse.Domains has an incredibly clean platform. Poseidon is like an incredible.
Speaking of Pulse.Domains,
dude, I don't even see you in the back room. Like, it's not my channel. What are you doing here?
Been trying to get.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome.
Hey, this guy builds some of the cleanest work I've ever seen, and when I DM him, I get excited. Okay, I get excited when I see him DM. When we DM, I'm like, oh, Pulse.Domains. So this caliber is what I want to support as a coach, as lit. I want to support the people who are rising to the top with clean platforms. Like Richard Hart just tweeted out KG, and I was just talking about the mountain that he had to go through there, and other people have done the same thing. I cannot wait to link up with you. Come, DM me, tell me what you've done. I've been out the game, and I want to just do everything I can to help the real people here. You guys are amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lit. I appreciate the kind words. Really, man. That means a lot.
Bottom of my heart. I mean that. I never imagined builders like you would be here when I clicked launch and PulseChain SAC was going. My heart is skipping a beat almost, because I'm like, dude, I never imagined that builders of your caliber would be attracted here, who actually get stuff on the App Store. They actually build domain name servers where a whole decentralized platform can be built around your brand and all your followers from a click of a button on PLS. Like, I never thought people like you would be here. This is incredible.
Just get into demos. I want to get Hex G'd up first, and then Pulse.Domains. But yeah, let's XG. Do you have a screen to share?
Yep. I can.
Awesome.
Go ahead and share.
Lit, your passion is contagious, man. I love it. Love it.
It's how I am every day, and like the people who talk to me know, this is who I am. And like, if you guys are serious about building the long-term growth of PulseChain, I will do anything I can to help your brand this year. This is my vow. I will do anything I can to help those who are serious about being a hybrid hexagon, to have their own project. They're the founder. They do their own thing. They have their own community, but they're helping PulseChain. They're making us look good and do clean business. So when I bring high-level Silicon Valley onboards, which I'm attacking in person this year, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have an in-person think tank, and I'm getting big dogs. But guess what? Institutions will not buy because of the risk factor. So we need to mitigate risk for these big dogs. Projects like KG, Pulse.Domains, stuff like this is the step that does that. So I think in 2024, we're going to see stock market money be able to come into PulseChain. There's someone working on that, and it's going to be seamless. And that is going to be one of the greatest things to ever happen to PulseChain. So projects like these, I need to learn about them so that when we onboard high-level people, we can show them, go to this site, go to these telegrams. These are the positive, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, the cleanest onboard for big dogs who have, and I don't want big whales, like, who control the system. I want people who have their own network full of little guys. Do you agree?
With what part exactly that we want to go ahead.
Are out, like, follow my thought. I've learned in this game, if we onboard huge whales and they buy like $27 million, and now they own a huge chunk of this, and other people put in 15 million and then 10, now like once they could just perma sell on our buy wall and rug us constantly and stop our upward momentum. If there's 5,000 like dudes who only have $1,000 and they enter our system, the damage they do to the sell wall is so much less. Does that make sense?
It does, because you have more people in the system. Each person has a smaller position, so if anybody exits their position, they can't do as much damage. But the thing is, if a whale comes in for $27 million, he's gonna slip so hard against himself that he's gonna he's not gonna want to sell. I mean, unless I guess he could rug. I guess I guess he really couldn't rug because he'd have to sell still. That he bought.
Some people, what I've learned in this game, hey, Pulse.Domains, KG, Hexgita, Max, you tell me, have you ever met a whale who's like, "Oh, I'm rich, I have play money, I want to go buy up this thing and just do," and they just they might have woken up in a bad mood, or their chick didn't bang them or something, and they're just like, "I'm gonna go cause some chaos." Like, I know whales that do that and laugh, and I've seen it. Like, I've heard stories of it. Have you ever heard that, or is that just like
of them doing something good or bad?
Both. There's benevolent whales, and then there's asshole whales. Like,
the world's largest die holder has been doing some pretty cool stuff. Godwell's back on Twitter. Although we see, I saw some crazy transfer, like 101 million hex got transferred today, and everyone's like, "Ooh, popcorn! What's going to happen with it?" So that maybe TBD. I don't think the story's written on that one yet. Lit. We might have to wait to find out.
Ooh. So
be that powerful.
What is it? What did you pull up? Teach me. What is this?
Well, Lit, I think this ties in quite nicely with your desire to get smaller guys, like more smaller guys in, like super passionate smaller guys, as opposed to like one whale, because looking to Maxi and the Maximus products were really kind of built for the smaller guy, right? To let them experience hex staking, but without the huge gas fees, right? So if anyone doesn't know, maybe I can give a quick rundown of what the Maxi products are. Maxi was the original kind of ERC20 token that launched, and it is fully backed by a 15-year hex stake, and you can own a share essentially of that massive 15-year hex stake by simply buying the tokens on the market. What does this do, and why was it created? Why go through all these hoops? Well, Maxi, when you buy it, you experience a 99.45% reduction in the gas that you have to spend at the end of the stake, which is huge for smaller guys.
Why?
Why? Well, I can jump over to the gas page. I don't like going to this page too much because I have solo stakes myself, max length solo stakes myself. But if you go to the gas summary page, you can see how much it costs to end a hex stake today by year, solo stake versus Maxi and the other products. 1 year stake costs around $192 to end stake on Ethereum right now today. And it's $15 if it's a Maxi or one of the other tokens. And the reason for that is that only one person has to end the Maxi stake, but there can be 2,000, 3,000, 100,000 holders all benefiting from the yield of that stake. But only one person actually has to end that stake. So there will be one person that pays this $192, but it likely won't be you if you're not the largest holder. And I think with Pool Party, there's like contracts that can be launched where people chip in to all pay for this $192. So everyone chips in $5. It's not that big of a deal, right? So
when's Pool Party launching? I've been waiting so long, dude. My devs told me they don't want to build it. They want Gold Key and Dipcatcher to launch Pool Party, and I'm like, why? And they just said, trust me. And I'm like, okay. So what do they know that I don't know?
I don't know when it's going to launch, but I think the audit for the contract comes back tomorrow on the 9th.
Cool.
And then launch
Exciting.
should be, the mint phase.
Oh, that's big news, bro. You should have led with that.
Okay, yeah. So that's super exciting. The audit comes back, and then I think
are you serious? Your audit comes back for that contract. Hex Pool Party is going to launch soon.
it's not my contract, right? So I'm not part of the team. I'm just like massive fans. But yeah, tomorrow it comes back. That's what the audit guys said. It could be late, who knows? And then there's a mint phase, which will happen for a few days, a week or so probably, and then Pool Party will like officially launch with the airdrop for all your party tokens and that kind of thing. And then from that day on, you can basically create your own maxi tokens with your own name, has its own ticker, its own duration, and it's your job to get people involved with participating in that pool. So yeah, it should be super exciting when that launches.
KG, can we link on the back end for what he's talking about? I have a huge strategy that I've been working on for the last year, and it's private, but I'm happy to release it public. I just want to link with the right people, because there's some game mechanics that we can really, really seriously kick fucking ass on that protocol if you do it right. So can we link, bros? Like Pulse.Domains, KG, like can we all link up and talk about that? It's cool. It's exciting.
Let's do it. I'm an opportunity maxi. Let's go.
What else do you have? Like, there's not much time. I feel like I really want to see what you guys did. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I can keep going a tiny bit, probably like five more minutes or so. But
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, like I think what a lot of people don't know, or what it seems like when people tweet on Twitter, like, oh my God, I paid such a high end gas stake fee, is that the gas actually scales linearly every day that you're staked. So the amount that you're going to have to pay to end your 15-year stake is right now, even when gas is low and if the price of Ethereum isn't at what it could be in the bull market, it's still in the thousands of dollars, whereas it's kind of a fixed fee to claim your rewards with Maxi, which is pretty awesome, and that's why you get this massive cost saving.
Hey, XG, can I ask you two questions on that real quick?
Yeah.
So one is about Hex itself. So the amount of Hex you have does not affect the in-stake cost, or does it?
No.
So it's purely just the number of days.
It's just based on days.
Okay. And then the $15. So if one person has to pay the in-stake fee in the Maxi ecosystem, how is the logic of the $15 distributed? Like how does you actually come to that?
Yeah. So one person will have to pay the 2,700, and then everyone else, every other holder of Maxi will have to pay a claim fee, which comes to, it's like a transaction on Uniswap. It's like $15 based on today's gas.
Split the end transaction between the entire pool.
Yes.
Oh, you fucking geniuses! I love this.
What? Yeah. So is it like, okay, so one person, okay, in the 15-year example, will pay the $2,700 to in the Hex stake. That happens.
Yes.
And then now the Hex sits in the pool, and you are credited your portion, and then you pay the $15 to burn the Maxi and claim your Hex.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can bring up a chart.
All the $15 add up to be able to pay all that, whereas one dude would just it'd be such a big amount of his bag. But when you spread it out through everyone, it's totally cool. What a cool thing. Cool innovation.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like the founders, Dipcatcher and Goldkey, they're going to be saving the Hex, hexagons, millions of dollars. I think like tens of millions of dollars potentially in just gas in the next bull run and the bull runs to come in the next 15 years. And that can all just stay in the Hex ecosystem. Like people can buy more Hex with it. And yeah, I think they deserve way more credit. But yeah, this is a cool chart. This is basically a visual of the yield that you'll experience in Hex terms for different length stakes. So if you know about how the Hex staking bonuses work, the longer pays better bonus. If you stake longer and you push out your stake 10 years, 15 years, you get more yield than if you stake for 1 year, for example. And so these lines represent how much Hex you will be able to claim at the end of the stake. So what KG was saying is that, at the beginning of Maxi, you basically could mint 1 Maxi for 1 hex, and then obviously the stake is accruing yield every single day for the next 15 years. And then maybe let's just use Deci as for this example, since it's a bit cleaner. But yeah, so Deci, you mint 1 for 1 for hex, and then after 10 years, you will be able to claim 4.2 or so hex for every 1 Deci that you hold. So you basically burn that Deci and you'll claim your hex, and you just pay that $15, and you don't have to pay the end stake fee unless you're like the biggest holder who happens to pay it. And even then, I think in 10 years time, there'll be some kind of a contract where we'll be able to reimburse at least partially the one person that has to end that stake and take the hit for the entire team, so to speak. So yeah, that's in hex terms. I did want to touch on like one final thing. Like Maxi and the perpetuals were created to combat the gas issue on Ethereum, but there's kind of like secondary and tertiary benefits to this pooled stake token market, so to speak. So if I go back to the homepage table right here, you can kind of see the areas in green and red are the premium and discount to what's called the mint and the stake backing value. And you can kind of pick up T-shares for a discount to what they're actually worth, so to speak. So if I quickly go over to delta discounts, you can kind of visualize this on a chart. But if we look at eMaxi, it's kind of got the nicest chart here. You can see that the line in red going all the way from a 1-to-1 mint. So 1 Maxi is worth 1 hex. It very quickly went to a premium where 1 Maxi was actually worth 2 hex for a period. And that was like worth way more than its actual underlying value, which is this yellow line. This is the value of the stake creeping up every single day, accruing yield. And then you can kind of see after a while, it's actually dipping below its backing value in kind of like this sine wave. And so this is really cool, because this is actually the price behavior that Gold Key, one of the founders, kind of predicted, like that the market price would oscillate around or thereabouts the actual stake backing value. And so if you're able to buy below kind of the stake backing value, you're kind of in effect getting cheaper, a cheaper hex stake than you would otherwise be able to get. And that's why, yeah, that's also an opportunity for smaller guys to get cheap hex stakes.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Maximus
like,
now solving problems out there.
Actually, can you? Okay, so you're saying below the yellow line means that you're effectively, you could say, just as a numeric example, you could say, hey, I'm going to, for the price of 1 hex, I'm actually going to buy 3 hex, for just example.
I did that. When PulseChain launched, 1 Deci was worth 0.5 hex, right? And I can show you this on the chart.
Wow, Deci still looks under. Wow. Deci
is like the most undervalued hex ecosystem asset, in my opinion, right? So P-Deci especially, it's been 40%, 50% at a discount to even its mint. So when PulseChain launched, I was buying Deci at a rate of 1 hex to 0.5 Deci, which, if you look at where PulseChain launched, it actually should have been around about 1.2. That's how much 1 Deci is worth, 1.2 hex at that point in time. So I was, buying a lot of Deci at this point without really even knowing all of these stats. I just knew that, hey, wait, and this was the first time I got into these products. I faded Maxi in the beginning when it minted and launched. I didn't get in until PulseChain launched. And I saw that 1 Deci was worth 0.5 hex. And I was like, wait a second, didn't people mint this thing for 1 hex for 1 Deci? Why is it worth 0.5? And so I was like buying a ton then, just eyeballing it, thinking it was like undervalued. And then that's what led to this whole website of like detailing all of the stats around it and actually like confirming my investment thesis to a T, like, yes, it's been undervalued. And if you bought that 50% discount to mint, it's the discount has closed very, very gradually over the past few months. But actually, we just crossed the 1-to-1 mint again, actually for the first time on PDESI. But for the first time since the mint on Ethereum, it's hit a 1-to-1. And if you bought the 40% discount to mint here, because it's less than a year, it's the snapback in percentage terms back to mint is 67% up, an up move, 7% up. And because it's less than a year, if you normalize that to a whole year, it's actually 100% APY.
So I'm confused about a point here. So if it's under the yellow line in this visual representation, it's at a discount, or is it more nuanced than that?
It's more nuanced because there's actually a discount. There's two discounts. There's a discount to the yellow line, which is kind of referred to as the NAV, or the backing value, the stake backing value, which is the principal of the hex stake. So 1 hex plus whatever yield it has accrued. And then there's also the discount to the mint, which is also like very important because DeSi and Maxi are so long. They're 15 years and 10 years, Lucky is 7 years. Because they're longer, the arbitrage is kind of drawn out. Like, you have to wait the entire time. You have to wait the full 10 years until you can fully realize that arbitrage. And because of that, buying it exactly at the backing value isn't exactly its fair value, in my opinion, right? This is all like my opinion, but because when you buy it exactly at its fair value, you're buying the T-shares at the full market rate, and you're just locking up hex that's doing nothing. So you're locking up hex for 10 years potentially, and it's not accruing yield whatsoever. And there should be some discount attributed to that fact, because you're not experiencing a gain on that hex, but it's locked. And so the fair value actually, in my opinion, sits somewhere between this yellow line and the horizontal line that goes at 1 hex. So this horizontal line where my cursor is right now, it's somewhere between those two lines is kind of where the fair value would lie. And you can see that DeSi, the reason that kind of came up on my radar, is just way below the mint in the first place. So yeah, it was kind of a bit more obvious than, say, Maxi, where it's like it's basically tracking its fair value. I think like buyers and sellers of the Maxi stake pool are both getting a fair deal. Like, people who sell it, they're like realizing their APY that they've earned, and then buyers, they're able to jump on to the max, like the last 14 or 13 years of the hex stake, and still experience like a 35% APY. So yeah.
I think when the products first came out, I still remember the mint day. I was like 1-for-1 Maxi. And I remember Dipcatcher saying, because I was at first I didn't know much about it, and I was like, oh, why would I trade hex for this? And I always remember him saying something like, maybe it'll be worth more in the future, because I really didn't understand like what this thing was supposed to do. And then I think a lot of people are just kind of not doing it because it's another contract risk. I know what hex is. I know all this stuff. Give it some time. We're a year or 2 years in now. I could imagine in the next few years, a lot more people just taking advantage of this stuff. That I don't know how long the discounts are going to last, because legit way to like you said, undervalued pieces of the ecosystem.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Maybe I can just close out on one final point.
Sure.
So like Max said, like the progress of the hex stakes, like you can kind of see Maxi's 12% of the way through, DeSi's 14, P-Lucky's 20%. Base, the 1 year one, it's already like a third of the way through. So because you're buying hex stakes like partially complete, that's why you kind of need all these statistics to like really value them and compare them to one another. But the best metric to use, KG, if you want just like one metric, like to know, like, is this over or undervalued? It takes into account kind of the fair value, is the APY in dollars today if you buy. And that takes into account how much money you're putting in, how much kind of projected hex you'll get at the end. And this is the adjusted APY in dollar terms. And you can see it takes into account the discount that exists on DESI right now. And instead of a 31% that you're getting in hex terms, which is how much the hex is increasing based on the initial mint, you're actually going to be getting a 35%. And that takes into account the fact that you have shorter to wait to redeem, and that the discount exists because the market price just happens to be lower than it kind of should be. And so you just need to look at this APY and dollar value today. And then we have that on both chains. And you can kind of see PDESI, there's an opportunity there if you're into longer stakes. P-Lucky as well. It's pretty much at its APY and hex. And then P-Trio as well, there's an opportunity. And then the final interesting thing is you can compare these tokens to one another, but you can also compare them to solo staking, because that's also important. Like what alternatives do I have if I don't buy these tokens? Okay, I'm doing a native solo stake. Well, we have the APY for starting a new solo stake from today, and you can see that because these tokens have captured their historic stakes. Basically, they started a year and a half ago. They captured a lower T-share rate. And so the T-share rate has gone up quite considerably since these stakes started. You're actually not able to get even the underlying hex APY of that stake anymore if you start a new solo stake today. So you're actually comparing 18% versus 25%, 23% versus 35%. And then Maxi happens to be kind of bang on what you would get for solo staking a max length stake. So
wow.
Yeah, I'll close out on that point. But
dude, fantastic work here. Really appreciate you putting this together. I mean, this is gold information. Pulse.Domains. Sorry, and wait so long. And also forgot to send you a StreamYard link too late. Again, my apologies for that. But the floor is yours.
No worries at all. Well, first of all, thank you so much for everyone that is building on PulseChain, be it with UIs, be it with products, be it with anything that makes this place a little bit more awesome, and then more importantly invites also individuals from other chains into PulseChain. So really, really good to see. Especially also shout out to Internet Money, who is creating a general wallet, obviously optimized for PulseChain, but ultimately these are really, really great products and bringing Ethereum, Solana guys, and everyone on board. And then also just to kind of like comment on Lit's comment on how do we bring the whales and so on. And it's like, there are a ton of chains out there, with better marketing, with better perception, with, less drama around this, right? And I think, we as a community have the opportunity to clean that up, be more inviting to other builders, and essentially make the decision when we have new onboards, be it whales or other individuals, in choosing PulseChain overall, right? And I think so far we've done an incredible job. 220 different projects already on PulseChain with various UIs, and I think also Hexgeta is awesome in like building front ends and helping individuals deeper understand, the Maxi products and all of that, or various products within. So it's like, shout out to all of the builders and thanks for all of the work that you guys are doing. So yeah, just wanted to say that. I know we're a little bit tight on time, but yeah. So for anyone that does not know, domain names are a thing also in Web3. However, they have some unique differentiations. In the old world, you have one organization called ICANN that owns all of the domains, that can shut down your website at any given moment and essentially is centralized. In the Web3 world, all of that is slightly different. All of the domain names, or a domain name that you mint, is truly yours. It cannot be shut down. No one can modify it. It's only you who has the keys to your wallet, and then hold that domain has access to that, right? So we launched now, I think, almost 9-10 days ago. We had over 10,000 domain names minted, which was mind-blowing, and it seems like it was the biggest NFT mint ever done on PulseChain. But also with that, this is just the beginning. The true value with domain names is of allowing builders to continue or build on top of Pulse domains in the naming system to make the Web3 experience more user-friendly and allowing new utilities, right? And just to give you a couple of examples, we have already a couple of folks working on integrations, be it the guys from Internet Money, or be it also the Hex Scout guys and so on. This, again, is just like, since we just launched, 10 days ago, this is just an ongoing thing. Then a sneak peek for anyone that has been really looking on-chain data. There will be a gigantic, huge announcement be made that will essentially provide a ton of utility for all of us, and also help bridges, building bridges to other chains and other protocols as well. But like talking about building utility on top of that, we already have one application that launched quite quickly after us, was Friends, which is a friend tech fork that ultimately, is a really good example of, why domains now all of a sudden allowed friend tech to be more user friendly and have utility, right? So friend tech allows you to buy shares of other individuals, and instead of seeing a random address that you don't know who owns that, you basically see their names, and you actually can verify if it's actually them. If they have a filled out profile and so on, you can actually say, hey, I want to buy, 5 shares of KG token. And and instead of having KG's long address, you basically have KG internetmoney.pls in that case, right? So this is just like another one that we saw a builder was building is pnsideas.com, which I thought it was a really, really cool idea, because that allows people to find a new and more unique .pls names, right? And so there's a lot of things that can be built on top of it. Also, just to kind of like share another thing or 2 other things that can be built is decentralized profiles. So if you go to Max, if you want to do that, to helloworld.pls.fyi. Here we go. So this front end ultimately grabs all of the on-chain data that you saved and associated to your domain name, and is pulling it into a user-friendly UI. It shows you all of the official links. It shows you how to essentially, see all of your verified links, because it's associated to you as well as your profile. But then also, if we scroll down, and I think this is a feature that we're currently exploring a little bit deeper, allows you to tip individuals directly, right? So thinking about Hex and PulseChain, we have a very streamer-heavy community here. There are a couple of new features that we're working on making that much easier, much user-friendlier. Instead of paying $5 in a super chat, where 40% is being taken by YouTube, you now can do a super comment directly on chain, and Max gets 100% of the rewards, in that case, of the $5, rather than sharing it with YouTube and so on. Right, and this is just like one other example. So if you also remove the FYI from the profile URL and put a TO behind this, we also have attached to this profile, we also saved an IPFS side to it. So if we click into that, it will essentially bring us and bring the front end up of, if it loads.
Sorry, can you say again to go where?
Yeah, exactly. Just hit enter. Just hit enter.
0.2.
Here we go. So with that, we also have the ability to store data, and this basically means any data. This also means IPFS hashes, or become now a decentralized gateway for IPFS. So now you could essentially redirect directly to your IPFS website, your IPFS blog, or any of the Richard Hart products, given you continue to update the IPFS hash. So now, if we look at this allows now an easier way to onboard any individual without them seeing the weird, and questionable URL in the URL bar, right? So if we go into any transactions, it basically breaks down the common URL structures that everyone is used to.
Quick question too. Does this work for only IPFS sites, or could you use like domains? Can you have like your own, point it to whatever .pls.fyi and point it to like any other domain?
Yeah, so this is the .to site points to IPFS websites or decentralized website and so on, or DWeb gateway and Swarm. This question came up again, or came up a couple of times, so we could essentially use it as a redirecting service. And the thing is here is like, if people want it, we're happy to build it. If someone wants to essentially build that on top of PNS, they're more than welcome to do so and essentially build that functionality into it, right? Think of the domain name, which is an 1155 NFT with a bunch of extra features. You can store data on the chain. And given you can store information on the chain into that 1155 NFT, this allows for a multitude of possibilities and features and so on, many of which have not yet been discovered, explored, and done in Web3, right? So it's like, and we're also closely looking at ENS, because we are essentially, a fork of ENS, and look at all of the tools that are built on top of it, and you have pretty much 80 to 120 websites and products that were built on top of it. And this is just like products built on top of it. It's not the integration side of things. It's just products on top of it. So the use cases are really fast when it comes to that. And again, we're 10 days in, and this is just the beginning.
Got time for one quick question. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Lit, or anyone who has a question. I got time for one question. Whoever wants to take it.
Go ahead.
Or question or comment, whoever.
I love what you're building. Yeah. So you guys, let me put a quick plug in, okay? In the next 12 days, I'm launching my first project on PulseChain, and I'm not like the typical dude. First PulseChain channel. So my project is like, I want to talk to KG. I've already linked with Pulse.Domains. I have 3 of my devs building something for his platform that are tying directly in, and we've already done that. So my project is going to launch within a week and a half, and I'm like so excited, like I told you, to support the real builders here. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to be helping this year. So I'll DM all y'all, and like in the next week or 2, we're about to kick up some dust, y'all. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the beauty, right? It's like all of our documentation are public. Anyone is more than welcome to build on top of it. There's no need to ask us, no need to ask for permission. This is the docs page that obviously has various guides on how to create subdomains, how to create your profile, how to use the IPFS website, and all of that. But then at the very bottom, for any developer, you find all of the documentation, how to plug into all of the contracts, and essentially use the PNS integrations, as well as use all of the contracts. Given that site loads, we're using Gitbook. Anyone can essentially explore that.
No, it's just my internet. It just does that sometimes. Sorry.
KG, no worries.
Could you have one?
Yeah, my quick question was, you had mentioned something about taking the PNS domain and replacing it with the contract address. Not replacing it, but directing.
Yep.
So let's say for our token time dividend, I wanted to point a PNS domain there. How would I go about doing that? And if that's a longer thing off stream, we can connect.
No, it's actually pretty easy. Max, if you want to connect the application and don't want to dox yourself, if you have some wallet, but pretty much, yeah. Usually that makes everyone nervous when streaming.
Yeah, I'm not sure what information it will show, so I'm always like, if I haven't clicked it before, I forget what it shows. So yeah.
Yep. But KG, just to, if you once you connect it and you basically have your name popped up, you could go to the owner tab, and you could essentially go to the edit roles, and you could essentially assign a new role and basically say, every time someone types in, my domain name, point them to this address, contract address, user wallet, or whatever it is, right? So you basically still have ownership of your NFT. However, you're basically saying, hey, the lookup, the logic on the contract and on the blockchain should be this, because I actively selected to point not to my address, but to point to the contract address. And this is a very nuanced feature, mainly for naming contracts rather than user wallets, because contracts can't hold, well, they can hold domain names, but you know, in many instances, as a contract, you can modify it. So that's kind of like the solution there.
That makes complete sense. I own several .pls domains. I've even bought some since launch. So my collection of ENS domains that I have on Ethereum, I've replicated on PulseChain, and so I've got a little underground collection going.
And maybe be collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Oh, I do.
Yep.
I have a theme, and I'm not going to say my theme because then the poachers out there are going to go and steal my theme because it's that awesome. So maybe one day I'll launch I'll tell everybody about it. But for now, I'm just collecting.
It's been really crazy. It's been crazy. We had one guy since we launched for the first 8 hours continuously minting domain names on 7 browser tabs.
Smart man.
Lit,
possibly.
Yeah, Lit. If you might want to ask him how many clicks it took him, but I'd say quite a bit. You know, a couple.
Was that
You
you,
guys,
Lit?
I can't wait.
got you.
I can't wait for 2024. I think this and the next year are going to be some of the 2 greatest years of our lives. And if we have the right energy and the right people form, like, I am going to have so much fun this year. I want you to have fun with me. I'm launching something in 12 days. You're going to see all your favorite people behind me and be like, what the hell? This is like a squadron of my favorite people. And it's like, yeah, there's KG, there's Pulse, there's RH, there's everyone here. I'm really excited to launch this and learn about what you guys are doing and connect it all, because that is PulseChain.
Yep.
I'm the first PulseChain channel. I finally realized, dude, I have to talk about what these guys are doing and connect them. So that's my vision. I really, really look forward to this year, you guys.
Love the builders we got here. Everyone, Pulse.Domains, excellent work. I think the impact this will have on the ecosystem should be enormous. Excited to see all the big streamers who want to use it to come on over to PulseChain, get your PLS domain.
Yeah. Also, anyone that streams, we're currently redesigning the PLS.fy UI, the user experience, and including a couple of features. We're currently, in touch with Maddie. He's giving us great feedback on functionality when it comes to the streaming piece of it and potentially integration work into StreamYard and all of that stuff. But if any streamer is interested in giving feedback, you're more than welcome to join our Telegram that you can find on our website, Pulse.Domains. But then also on one thing that I really love and that I'm really big into is we also have Pulse Coin List, which the effort there was to really show the depth and breadth of PulseChain, meaning all of the tokens, but also meaning all of the projects that are being built on top of it. We currently have Internet Money in the ecosystem slide, as well as many other applications or sites and products and so on. And also, like, a shout out to Hexgator. Feel free to submit your product, whatever you build. Feel free to submit it. It doesn't cost anything, but we want to really, especially when it comes to onboarding new individuals from other chains or new to the ecosystem or new to crypto, we want to really show them in an easy UI, in an easy way, what's out there on PulseChain, and really showcase PulseChain in its best form.
Oh, for sure.
Amazing stuff. All right, everyone. Look into maxi.com, internetmoney.io, pulse.domains, and @litlife is awesome. Without the is, it's just life. Lit life, awesome. Short and sweet. I like it. Gentlemen, got to call this one today. Appreciate you all joining me. Builders. That's what we need. I love it. Love it here.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Max.
Of course.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate
Everyone,
it. Thank you, Max.
Thank
Much
you.
love,
Thanks for
bros.
coming
We'll
on.
talk soon.
All right. Scivive and 5555. We are out.